today I'm going to do a story time. Not on any specific character, mainly, if you read the title, you kind of know. Basically, it's just going to be about the factory, and if you don't know what that is or what the heck I'm talking about, I kind of suggest going back to the Phoenix Sisters videos, or probably, I'm pretty sure I've mentioned it in Alex's stories too, but, yeah, it's a huge thing, and both of their world, but both of their stories, they're from the same world. I'm a little off today. I'm kind of tired, and I was going to take a shower, but then I realized if I took a shower, I wasn't going to do anything afterwards. So that's why I'm doing this now. And I forgot what I was saying. Yeah, I am talking about the factory today. Just because I don't totally feel like talking about the Phoenix Sisters yet, or right now. Because it's long and complicated, and I don't have all the facts down quite as well as I want them to be. So, there's like one or two things I want to get cemented down before I actually start their story, which I'm pretty sure I'll put one up next week. And it's not going to be as long as or as drawn out as what I'm doing for Alex. I think I'm going to kind of do like a quick summary of a good majority of it. And if I feel like going in depth, or if anyone wants to know anything more, I can always make more videos. So yeah, but I thought I'd talk about the factory today because not only does the factory affect her story, it also affects Alex's story. So yeah, and that's why I have Fee here. This is Fee, if you guys don't know who she is, or haven't seen any of my other videos. She's a custom. She was the first custom ever with yarn hair that I've ever done. So not my first custom ever, my first custom with this type of yarn. So she's like one of my favorites. And she has 4 sisters, or 3 sisters, not 4. But anyway, so on to the factory, and her earring is falling out. This is a hot mess kind of video. I'm sorry, you guys. Okay, yeah, it's not going to stay in. I'm going to have to fix that. Here, I'll just take both out. The other one didn't want to come out. Okay. There. I feel better now, because that was going to bug me throughout the entire video. Anyway, I'm sorry. Okay, so the factory, it's not an actual factory, obviously. They just call it a factory because they don't have anything else to call it. It's basically this place where they take, many people think of it as a prison, which in some cases it can be a prison. Many people think it's like a hospital where they take people like Fee, who are either mutants or magical creatures, to get fixed, to become part of the normal world, I guess. Something similar to that. Or some people, you know, there's many like ideas of what the factory actually is, but pretty much no one knows other than the people that work with the factory. So what the factory has been around for a very long time. Not as long as Violet's been around, I'll say that much. But probably 100 years after Violet, I guess, was born, you could say. Because Violet is roughly 600 or something like that. Actually, I have that right now. I had drawn stuff out. Okay, so Alex has 400 at the present, which is when their story kind of starts. And Violet at the present is either 700 or she's dead. So you can kind of get a rough idea of kind of around where the factory starts. So, yeah. So it started like 100 years after she was born. Violet, not Fee. And what happened, like, no one really know how it started, or no one in the magical, I always view things from my character's kind of point of view, so my characters don't really know how it just happened. It just happened. I mean, raids started happening where they were either like, this is the strange thing. Some mutants or magical folk they killed, and some they decided to keep. What their preference was, no one really knows or understands. Because it was very random and very confusing. Because sometimes they'll take mutants that are completely odd, ones that you would think you would want to kill because they're like totally scary or creepy, but no, they would want to keep them for some weird reason. They would like incapacitate them and kidnap them or whatever, what have you. And others who would look perfectly normal, like a normal witch, you could say, like a perfectly humanized witch, they would sometimes kill some of them, and sometimes they would take them under custody and just kind of whisk them away. And there was even some who, like, it's quite strange because I haven't gotten to this part in Alex's story, but sorry, I'm like playing with her dress because it's bugging me. I haven't gotten this far in Alex's story, but I mean, the world is fairly old by now, so I mean, like how America isn't technically white anymore. We're all some sort of mix. Like, I'm Irish, English, Dutch, Slovakian, and something else. So, I mean, no one is quite one thing anymore. It's kind of like that in their world, except no one is quite totally, fully, utterly human. So, there'll be times where the factory will convince a family, like either their child or someone in the family is sick and they need to come to the factory. And then for some unknown reason, that family member would have succumbed to the effects of their illness and die. If the person really did die, no one really knows because no one leaves the factory or goes to the factory. So, and these people wouldn't know they would be going to the factory. They would just be, like, it would be like a government kind of thing. Like, they would think that the government or the kingdom of whatever is coming and helping in a way. So, it's kind of a bit about the factory. I will say that the factory does, I think I've said a bit about the kingdoms, how they don't necessarily like magic folk. Some of that has changed, but it's also, Alex's story is in a different time period, so I think I'm still keeping it as the way I said it in the very first video. Just in the past, it's slightly different. But now, like I said, the kings of this time period, or whatever you want to call them, do not like magic folk. Not all the kings, but basically the biggest kings. I think there's 3. Do not like magic folk, and they actually are kind of partnered up with the factory. They think they recruit people to help fight wars, and they think the kings think the factory is doing it to help the kings, when in reality they're doing it because they want to do it. It's a lot easier for them to do what they want when they have the king on their side. So, yeah. And then, actually, I guess I can tell you a little bit about their story. Basically, there's the Phoenix Island, which I'm pretty sure I showed you guys in the world video. I'll try and leave a link at the end, along with the playlist, so you guys can probably see all that. But they live on Phoenix Island, yada yada. Well, doing a job, their parents were away from the island, and that's when Maya was kind of in charge of keeping the island and functioning, keep everything going. Well, their parents had died from one of the raids, and when that happened, Maya pretty much put the entire island on lockdown, which was a good thing because it somewhat protected at least the village. Unfortunately, the factory kind of found a way around that. Ended up kidnapping one of the twins, and I mean, in order to save like the twins and Fee, she pretty much went dark, and because she can't control it, she ended up dying from it. So that's why she is dead, if you guys don't understand that yet. And so all that was left was Fee and the twins. And I mean, the whole thing that happened with Maya, it debilitated a lot of the factory from even trying to come get them. It was probably like a year later, they attacked the village again, and unfortunately took a lot of the villagers and actually ended up somehow kidnapping and taking not only Fee but also the twins. And they ended up staying in the factory for a good 5 years, which is a long time, especially when you're, for the most part, just stuck in a room, and then every maybe once a week you get like taken out, but that's only to be experimented on, or to have blood work done, or to be poked or prodded or something of that nature. So basically they're there for 3 years, and like I said, I can always go into more depth if you guys want more information. I'm just trying to summarize because I don't want to spend too long on the story because I'm already kind of a little bit burnt out on it. But I don't mind talking about more if someone wants to know. Anyway, so one day, all the while, the reason why Maya is here in the story now, she doesn't stay in the story very long. She's only there like maybe a year, like not even a year, a couple months, and then she has to go back to the spirit world. All that time, Fee was trying her best to summon her back, because she had no clue how to get out of the factory. She had no clue how to plan something to get out of the factory or anything. She felt helpless. And I mean, it's not like the twins were 10 at the time, so they're like 15 now, and then she's like, what, 25 by the end, by the time they get out of the factory. So I mean, like, every once in a while. By the way, I want to say this. The factory also has barriers or devices that cause no magic, not only in the building, but also within the entire island. Because it's based mainly on an island. But they also do have secret bases other places. But that's another thing. Anyway. So there's no magic, so she can't actually do anything, even if she's trying to. But she did notice that every once in a while there'll be a blip in the machine that causes no magic to be done. So during those times, she'll try and do some magic or whatever. Well, 5 years later, one day they come to her cell, take her, and she's confused as to what's going on, because it's kind of abnormal, not only because she was in there for a while. They usually don't mess with her. The reason they went after the Phoenix sisters and the Phoenix family is because they were pretty much hindering that factory from doing what they wanted. So it wasn't so much so they can experiment on them, it was to get them out of the way. And they were going to kill him, but then they found out, then they kind of realized that maybe they shouldn't, because, hey, experiment. Anyways. So they take Fee, and she notices the twins are there too, into what is called the electric room. So they take Fee to the electric room, hook her up, and like they don't see mutants as people or as actual human like beings, as like actual people. So like it was all an experiment to see, like, okay, we're gonna electrocute you, let's see what happens. So, which at this point they're kind of just playing. It's not for actual experiment, they find it funny. So they hook her up and they electrocute her, and she's like, and it's not like deathly or anything, like it's giving her shocks. And by the way, this room is free of magic because, like I said, it's an experiment, so to see what does a magical person do if this happens, you know? So nothing happens. She doesn't do anything. She doesn't find any reason to, you know, do anything. Plus, the electricity isn't doing much to her. So they're like, oh, okay, well, fine. They leave her hooked up, you know, she can't move or do anything. They take the twins, strap them to the table, because it's like a table and then there's also a standee area, because they can do a couple different experiments in this room. It's kind of weird. So they take the twins, hook them up, and do the same thing. At this point, Fee is like, don't do that, don't, like, I'll do anything, don't hurt them, blah blah blah. Trying to make sure that the twins don't get hurt or anything like that. And of course they ignore her, and they're like, okay, well, if she's not going to respond to electricity, let's see what happens when someone she cares about or is being electrocuted. So I'm trying to remember this part of the story. So, I mean, they automatically just start electrocuting the twins, which it sounds really bad, but it's not like they're electrocuting to the point of death. It's not like that. Like I said, it's strictly experimental, so it's not like they're trying to kill them, although, anyway. So Fee finally was like, okay, fine, you want me to do something, so I'll do something. So she couldn't obviously move her hands or legs or anything else, so what did she do? She breathed fire and shot fire at one of the doctors, and he burned to death, kind of. Anyway, so they found this interesting and was like, okay, don't worry, we won't hurt them anymore, just do more and we'll let your sisters go, whatever, what have you. So, I mean, they turn up the electricity on her, shoot her with electricity, and then, you know, it's even hard for her to even concentrate about doing anything. For her to, like, do anything. She can't do anything. She's being electrocuted with such a high voltage that, like, I mean, probably with a normal person it would kill them, because she's magical, it's not going to kill her just yet. She is psychic a little bit, not as strong as Ava, because Ava is a very, very strong psychic. She sees things indefinitely, where most psychics see things that could happen or might happen. Ava sees things that are permanent, things that will definitely happen, things you cannot change. But Fee kind of, and she can also read minds. So all this happening, her powers kind of start going a little haywire. She starts, things in the room start kind of psychically moving, and then random fires will start and then suddenly go away, and then suddenly she starts hearing thoughts. And not thoughts of the twins, which you would think she would automatically connect to the twins. She started hearing the doctor's thoughts, and they had no intention of allowing the twins to live or her to live. They were going to kill her. They were going to kill Fee first, and then they were going to kill the twins. Because for the most part, they just found them as extra baggage, and they were just like, we done what we wanted, Let's just kill them, get them out of the way. Fee did not find that exactly good. So what did she do? She decided that, okay, well, if Maya went dark, I can too, but I can do something Maya can't. I can control it. So that's basically what Fee did. The entire factory went haywire. Fires started all over the place. She made a path, she cyclically connected to a lot of the doctors so they couldn't move. She was trying to do away with the entire factory. The people, the factory itself, any type of thing that had to deal with the factory, gone. Other than, obviously, the experiments, which would be the people. So she unlocked pretty much all the experiments' cage. She, found a way. Somehow the twins were out of the factory. She doesn't know how, because I'm saying this from Fee's point of view right now. She doesn't know how they were able to escape. She's very happy they did. But essentially the whole factory is burning, and the funny thing is the doctors were actually begging her to stop, and she was like, no, it's time for this factory to stop. And the whole thing explodes. So the twins think she's dead. Fee's dead. She thinks the twins might have died, but no one knows. And that's where I'm going to end the story, because I feel like I've rambled on enough. And like I always say, my stories don't always make sense because they're coming out of my head and I don't write them down. So if something doesn't make sense, I apologize. And if you want something clarified, comment down below and I'll say it in my next video or answer your comment. And that was said really, really fast, and I'm sorry. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the story time, kind of. And I hope you enjoyed somewhat the beginning of their story. I really wasn't planning on talking about it, which is why I didn't know all of the facts, straight out of the brain. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys later. Bye! Bye!